within days of Captain Ibrahim Traoré's speech that he made on the 16th of July, we are now having an ultimatum from, according to information that we have right now, from diasporas, from people in Ivory Coast, from people in Mauritania, saying and calling on Burkinabe fellow Muslims, not like they have a direct family, linkage with those people. They are calling on they call them Muslim faithfuls. They said they should stand up, and the date they have picked for what they declared as a liberation demonstration. That's the language they gave to it. So they said on the 4th of July, there will be a demonstration in Burkina Faso, and they said that demonstration will be what they called, so they call it liberation demonstration on the 4th of August. Salute, family. So just days from now, so with the declared aim, so the aim of that demonstration, according to these Muslim brothers, is that they will be overthrowing the government of Traore. And apart from these people, the JNIM spokespeople, they have come out in different episodes. They have said that they are ready to support the people that are going to be fighting for Almighty Allah, that, they want to fight for the purpose of restoring the sacred respect of Rasulullah. They said all those things, and we will see, we will see what happens on the 4th of August. Now, it's been back and forth, right? Most especially the Ivorians are really, really making serious threat. On a certain episode, we have this Ivorian saying that, when Captain Ibrahim Traoré came to govern Burkina Faso, that they did not ask him to to execute a certain mission, that they only wanted good governance and all of that. You say that to your president in Ivory Coast, you will say that to Gizani, you say that to your president in Mauritania, not to the president of Burkina Faso. And the Burkinabe citizens are firing back, and they said if anybody enter their country to disturb their peace, why a lot of good things is currently going on in Burkina Faso, that whoever enters to disturb them will definitely find out. So an organization called the Citizen Watch, they have really, really made a loud threat that if you come to Burkina Faso to sow discord on the 4th of August or before the 4th of August, something is going to happen. Now, let me just put something out there for a lot of people to know. I hope that the people that wants to go to Burkina Faso on the 4th, I hope you go. I dare you to go. I pray that you go. All right. First of all, let me tell you a very simple thing that you need to understand right now. You see, from the border of Ivory Coast down to Ouagadougou. Now, before you get to Ouagadougou, there is a particular rapid intervention brigade squad called BIR7. Right? Those guys, they are not, most of the time, they don't wear uniform, right? They are always on these things that look like mafia suits, this long suits and all of that. The way these guys dress for operation is very, very, in fact, I don't know what I can call those guys. Like, so I'm saying that from the border, I'm not talking about the entire territory of Burkina Faso. I'm saying that from the border of Ivory Coast, right at the border of Ivory Coast, right, to Ouagadougou. I'm just telling you that very close to Ouagadougou, you have the BR7, right? So I counted the number of rapid intervention brigade right to the border. Have you heard all through this 2026 that terrorists moved in from the Ivorian border? No, they don't. They don't do it. They are going to die at that very border. So if you cross, now there is VDP. It's not just rapid intervention brigade. So for every BIR, you have about 8 BIR from the Ivorian border. I'm talking about different infantry battalion to Ouagadougou, right? And you have about 31 BIR all over the country of Burkina Faso. And you have different tactical squad. So you are telling me that you will cross almost 8 different rapid intervention brigade and the VDP. Now, you see, the unfortunate side would be if the VDP, if they catch you, if the rapid intervention brigade catch you, you might be lucky. Yeah, they might take you to prison and all of that. And, you know, but if the VDP catch you, the VDP are not, I don't know how I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to say about the VDP. If the VDP catch you, there will be no justice. Those guys, it will look like, I don't know where you want to take the case to, because you cross your own territory into another man's territory to disturb them. Now, the only side that pained me the most, you know, based on the type of role I think I can play in Burkina Faso right now, I am so sad that I'm not a Burkinabe citizen, because I love moments like this, most especially August 4. You see, that August 4, I was born for moments like that. Don't even ask me why. Like, I was born for moments like August 4. And not like moments where you make threats and you don't come with something. Like, I was born for moments when you make threats and you definitely come to try to execute that threat. Then we are going to find out. Have you lost your mind to where you've forgotten that it was inside the Ivorian prison that Alain Foka died? You are trying to give some Burkinabes that are still pained, you are trying to give them the opportunity to get their get back. There will not be a difference between, you know, a criminal, right? There will not be a difference between a JNIM and whoever protests against Traore that day, because the JNIM have said that they will be backing you up. So we pray that you come. But the only thing, I don't even like what I'm doing right now, because I am not in Burkina Faso. If I were to be in Burkina Faso, trust me, you will see me outside. And I will definitely be looking out for the faces of those that made this threat. You understand? We even go south. So when I saw this old threat and all of that, you can do that in your country in Ivory Coast. If you do it in Burkina Faso, and the difference is, you know, Ivory Coast, you guys chill a lot. Life is very, very easy for you in Ivory Coast, but you see those Burkinabes that you are looking at, those guys live under certain conditions that, you know, I don't think you will ever want to live through. So I want to believe, right, based on how life forms people, you cannot stand those guys. They will break you. Honestly speaking, I'm not joking. You don't have the monopoly of violence. And I don't know why Ivory Coast would try to meddle in the issue of Burkina Faso. Right? Look at my chest. This is Nigeria. You people can never try it in your life to threaten anything coming from Nigeria. You won't do it. But you are trying to look at Burkina Faso like they are your next door neighbor. You see, a lot of people will be like, Ivorians are not this, Ivorians are not bad, are not that. Do you know that all of the destabilization that have taken place in Burkina Faso is always linked to one Ivorian bank officer, Ivorian this, Ivorian that? See, I know you guys are just talking, but they will not take you for granted. So with that said, according to the information we have, there is heightened security right now. So because between now and the 4th of August, even beyond, even the jihadists are not going to have a good time in Burkina Faso. Do you know why? Because you've already triggered the sensitivity. You've raised the alert another level. You know, you've tipped the scale a little bit more. So until whom much is given, much is expected. And just before I wrap it up, you know, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, whenever he gives the keys of the new military capability, when he gives it, you understand what you're saying? No, I won't slap if I'm in Burkina Faso. I promise you, I won't slap. I won't slap. I don't slap. Like I'm I don't slap like, oh man. It's not, mouths cannot express. I wish I was in Burkina Faso. Right? I wish, honestly speaking. Let me keep it at Android right here. All right. Oh, thank you so much, brother. I used to pray every day for moments like that. I'm not a violent person, but I pray for things like that. Nobody. I will literally, oh God. So let's leave it at that. I trust the Burkinabes to do what they, what they are supposed to do. But if you go, because if you can wear an improvised explosive device on your body, and you can shout Allahu Akbar and you blow yourself up in the middle of people. You cannot underestimate the psychology of a stupid person. That is one thing you cannot take away from someone that is very, very stupid. You cannot underestimate the power of a very stupid person. So if you can wear suicide vest and you run into people and you say Allahu Akbar and you blow everybody up, believing that you're going to go to wherever you want to go to. This is why I pray for moments like this, because there will be no need to slap you. There is no need. And let me tell you one thing, right? Anybody that comes from outside Burkina Faso that get neutralized by citizens on that day, there is nothing legal against them. All right. Because one of the worst situation you can find yourself is when the mob goes against you. Who do you want to pick up? Is the mob. Even when you are innocent, once is the mob, there is no court as long as they don't get anybody. But this type of situation, the national security is under threat. So even if you are traveling into Burkina Faso, your very house where you are landing, when you watch the next shop, when you shop, when you go to bed, where I'm from, Ikare, not Ikare, Eyometa in Ikare. If you are a stranger, we know you. We know when you go inside. We know when you got into, so when you make a wrong move, trust me, we don't play where I'm from. Nobody will be so foolish to make, now that's our king, now threaten Ibrahim Traoré. I'm speaking from experience. Like, I bear the marks of the experience. I'm speaking from experience. Don't do it. You see, all these kids that are well taken care of in Ivory Coast, you are living a good life, and all of that. Don't try it. Don't do it. Even if you do 1%, it will trigger. My Yoruba brother, thank you so much. If you do 1%, you will not like it. 1% of the threat, not 50%. You will not like the consequence. It's a very small country just beside us here. And I don't know, you people in Ivory Coast, you are beginning to grow wings. I mean, I'm talking to the bad people. And you are not like that. You and I know that you people are not like that. And you are making threats that for Allah and all of that. Don't do it. In wrestling, they say, don't try this at home. This would be a very terrible situation. Don't go to Burkina Faso. Political will to completely destroy each and every one of you that try to sow discord is there. Burkina Faso is not just supported by Burkinabe. So if a citizen drives through your brain on that day, they have the political support all over the world, and people will even laugh at you. So that will not even be something nice. Now let's get into the conversation, because some people are propping you up. And the funny thing is, the people that are propping you up, they will not be there. They are all these guys with big stomachs. So they will not be there. They are not always the one to lead you, but they are the one to instigate you. And I know you are hungry. And I know that you are tough. But it is that your toughness that we love, so that we can find out how tough you are. You want to go to another man's country to go and defend Allah. All right. So now, according to the information we got, right? So they said, standing before the Islamic community in Burkina Faso, that Captain Ibrahim Traoré said Sharia will not be tolerated. All right. He said it will not be tolerated. And So a lot of Muslims have been standing up from the extremists among the Muslims, because I have a lot of Muslims around me here that would die for me. I'm not playing. They're around this place, right? So when I when I say like I love violence, I'm not saying that I love it because like when you bring it, I have a lot of people around me that if I say now let's do it, like they are ready to go, they are ready to run through a wall. So don't think that because you say Allah. I was once a Muslim and my name was Kabiru. So you don't know the extent of how terrible other people are until you find out. So if you go, I can see that Burkinabes, they are very, very angry. They are very, very angry right now. They are waiting for you. But we don't know. So we hope you do it because there is a battle to be won here. The battle for sovereignty is on one side, the battle for independence on the other side. There is another battle to be fought here. That is the battle for religious sovereignty. Are you aware of that? One of the things in northern Nigeria, there is this girl called Deborah. I've talked about the story before, where I continue to say to this day, if you want to eliminate someone in northern Nigeria, just say that the person said something wrong about Allah. They are going to kill the person immediately. All right. But we have to start creating, watching from Ghana. Thank you so much, my brother. We have to start turning the barbaric ones among us. We have to start making them humans gradually. You see, I live in one of the most dangerous places in Lagos, and I can guarantee you, all the Muslims around here, they know not to play. Like they know not to play with themselves, like the extreme ones among them. When we see your career, we already have our eyes on you. You see, the day you are going to make that wrong preaching, that scam, you are telling them to go and do something, like right here. Where do we enter your body? Oh. Today, family, we are going to unpack this moment, not as a controversy, but as a defining chapter in Pan-African struggle for true sovereignty. Because what we are witnessing is not just simple political disputes. This has nothing to do with politics, all right? But France has something to gain politically. So what France is doing right now is that France is trying to use the political card to trigger the barbarians, the people that are so senseless that you should not underestimate the stupidity of a very, very foolish person. That is one thing you should never do. That's why I tell people, stay dangerous at all times because your life depends on it. Don't underestimate anyone, no matter how big or how small they are. The smaller they are, the heavier you should dish it out. The bigger they are, the heavier you should dish it out. Don't compromise. They are all the same. They have the same heart. The size of a man is the size of his heart. So you can be as small as this, but when you come with that religious animosity, we will treat you like you are the worst type of criminal alive, no matter how small you are. Because the size of a man is the size of his heart. So if you that means you are a small body with a very big heart, a very big engine. You've already decided that you want to come and fight for Allah, then we'll give you the type of fight that is very, very suitable for you. So, and I'm urging the Burkinabe to not disappoint me because my expectation bar is over the roof. So, now, you see, this is the ideological war here because there are different wars that have been fought, right? But whoever wins this war, right, is about who controls the ideological destiny of the African continent. Because what Traore is doing, are you aware that they've applied the same rule in Niger State? A lot of people might think that people are not watching you. Do you know that after Traore arrested, I will get my popcorn ready. After Traore arrested Ishak Kindo, the governor of Niger State in Nigeria, Bako, have said if you are a cleric in Nigeria, you are not allowed to preach without certification and government approval. A lot of people love these things, but because Nigeria is a democratic state, a lot of people are scared that if I do this, they might be like, this is religious intolerance and all of that. Do you get what I'm saying? So now that they've seen somebody that has done it, the rule from, in fact, Niger State's own rule is even radical. And what happened? It got the same backlash. That's why I say you cannot underestimate the stupidity of certain people. And Traore said something. He also praised the good imams. I will bring one of my Muslim friends to come and do a podcast with me. You will see how he talks about Islam. All right? If you come to the southwestern part of Nigeria, you have good Muslims there. They are educated. They are up and running. These guys are busy. They are smart. They are intelligent. Come and argue Allah with a southwestern Muslim, like Nigeria, the southwestern part of Nigeria. Come on, they will just have a very sensible conversation with you, with facts. But when you go to the northern part of Nigeria, anything about Allah is death immediately. And it is because of the Arab slave trade and the Islamic colonization of that territory. So, and it's because of illiteracy. They don't give them education, but the only thing they give them is radical Islamic teachings. So, before we get into the implication, let us be precise about what was said, all right? Because a lot of people are asking questions. As always, the truth is in the detail. On July 16, Captain Ibrahim Traoré addressed a gathering of chief imams, pastors, and community elders with the entire people of the region in Yagda. This was not a press conference, all right? This was a social media statement, right? This was an African leader sitting with his people and speaking directly. According to information from multiple sources, here are the keys of what he said. Number one, I am a Muslim, but everyone in Burkina Faso has the right to practice their religion. There will never be Sharia law here in Burkina Faso. He rejected the argument that a Muslim majority population should determine the country's legal framework. The constitution, he insisted, stands above every religious claim, and that is how it should be for sensible people. Number two, he questioned why multiple Burkinabe students are studying in Saudi Arabia and other Arab countries without acquiring practical professional skill that will improve the nation's development. But they are learning Sharia. He announced plans to recall them and warned that if they refuse to come back, they will lose their Burkinabe nationality. Can you lose your Burkinabe nationality because you refuse to listen to the call of the nation? Yes, we have seen it. A lot of people have been declared, but even in Niger, you can lose your nationality. You are not special. Nigeria can decide that you are no longer in Nigeria. There's nothing you will do. You will go and become a refugee somewhere else. This thing can happen very, very quick. It's about national interests. One person, 2, 3, 4, 5, you cannot decide the fate of a lot of people. It's not possible. Now, the message was very, very clear. The nation invests in its youth, and the youths owe their skill to their nation. You see, some things have been going on in Africa. We complain a lot that certain nations are more developed than Africa. But how many Africans have been given scholarship by their own very nation that some good skill and come back to invest in their community? A lot of people don't do it. So Captain Ibrahim Traoré is saying, this time around, we did not give you scholarship. So the billion-dollar question is, do you know how expensive it is for you to go and study in a foreign nation? This is something very, very bad. Now, do you know how expensive it is in Africa here for you to even travel to Saudi Arabia? Now, the billion-dollar question here is not that they even travel to Saudi Arabia. First of all, it is extremely expensive. In fact, some people cannot afford to travel from one African state, all right, to another African state. some Nigerians don't have the financial Nigeria, you know, the so-called giant of Africa. Some Nigerians don't have the financial resources to travel from Nigeria to Togo. Togo here, where is even visa free. They cannot. It's too expensive. Now imagine if over 1,000 students can travel to Saudi Arabia. They did not just travel to Saudi Arabia. Do you know how expensive acquiring foreign education? Do you know how expensive it is? So that means, and a lot of people come with this argument that Burkina Faso is a very poor country. So we should ask from ourselves, who is trying to build this jihadist in Burkina Faso? Who has so much money to the point that the person can sponsor over 1,000 Burkinabe students, not to just travel to Saudi Arabia, but to study Islamic Sharia for many years? For you to get the degree is not a one-year course. And they are not just there. According to further information where we dug in, you know, because we have some Burkinabe in our Telegram channel. So we were asking, like, they said that they even paid for their feeding, every other thing. It has been paid for. So who are these individuals? So it is not just about the students. So now let me come to think of it. Do you think those students have their loyalty to their nation or to those people that sponsor them to Saudi Arabia? Do you think their Islamic Sharia, when they come back, do you think it will not follow the orders of the people that send them out of the country? It's not easy for you to sponsor 1,000 plus students to go and study Sharia. So, and what does it mean? If this person, so we were asking a Muslim on our TikTok channel one time, we said, so, because we gave him an opportunity to speak. We said, is Sharia good? He said, it's good. All my colleagues at work, Mr. Shekoni, I'm calling their name so that they can know. Mr. Shekoni, Musa Adekule, they all said that Sharia is good. Awa said Sharia is good. So if Sharia is good, they said it's good, they said they are with it. Now, this man called Mr. Shekoni is always very eager to defend Sharia. So we were asking this guy, so if a young person steals, very young, juvenile, if he steals, what do you do? He said he will chop off the hand. I said, good. He said, and we'll warn him, we'll take him through some training. Okay, I said, fine. If he steals again, what do you do? He said they cut the second hand. He said if he steals again, they cut, no, they said if he steals, they cut the right hand and they cut the left leg. That's what they said. Yes. So I said at the end of the day, that person, can the person still be functional to the society? He said, it's what our religion tells us. So we now be like, after you demonize the person, who will be taking care of that person? They said God Almighty will take care of the person. And that is where we knew that these people are just some bunch of lunatic. I have a brother. I met him on TikTok. He was a former Muslim. He said one of the most painful things for him is his years of fasting. According to him, he said, as a Muslim, they are so radical to the point that he said now that he is no longer a Muslim, that now like a new person, that if he ever has the opportunity to become a president, he said, once you say that you are a Muslim, you are supposed to be arrested. Brother Omar, I told you this thing if you are watching this live stream. He said because if his fellow Muslim marries a wife that is a Christian, they see that his fellow Muslim as a kafri. Who you marry should be your personal business. But they see him as a kafri. When I was in National Orthopedic Hospital, when I was a Muslim, whenever I don't go to the mosque because I am attending to emergency, do you know that my fellow Muslims, they look at me, Awa particularly used to look at me as if I am the devil itself. Because I did not abandon a patient that is in a life and death situation and go to the mosque. When I was in University of Ilorin Teaching Hospital, once it's time for prayers on Friday, everybody goes to the mosque like some bunch of barbarians. And even if you are about to die, you will die there. Nobody, they have gone to the mosque to pray. You can prove me wrong if you are listening now. It happens. Is Islam supposed to be practiced like this? I don't think so. The first thing I learned about Islam was that it is a religion of peace. I studied Islam right from the very scratch, from Ile-Keu to studying IRS in secondary school, Islamic Religious Studies, to graduating to many levels. I come from a Muslim background. My mom's name is Khadija. Do you understand? Like, from the Adekpoju family, most of us are Muslims. But my mom changed from Islam to Christianity. Now, I'm the most, among every family, we have 5 kids. There is always one child that is most troublesome. I am the most troublesome and the most, I am the most difficult of all the parents my dad gave to treat. Like, I am always with all the worst type of guys you can talk about because I don't see them as worst. You will always find me with all the bad boys. That's where you will see me. I am educated, but you will always, I don't know, I have this proximity for, once they say you are very, very, I'm always going to be somehow close to you, if not your best ally, because I don't just condemn people just like that. I believe there was something that led them to be there. So I'm the kind of person that everywhere I've gotten to in my life, all the most people are scared, once they say, that guy is a terrible person, tomorrow you will definitely, I want to know him, I want to be his best ally. That's how I am, right? So I'm the person that I don't go to church. I don't want to practice anything my parent practiced, and I practice Islam to a point. Then at the same time, now this is the thing about me that a lot of people hate me for. To mosque, I'm going to mosque with you. If you are going to church, we are going to church together. If you, wherever you want to go, to me, I see it as, what's up? What are they doing there? Let's go and listen to them and see what's going on, right? That is what I do. I don't really take anything to heart. I don't care. I've never, but while I was a Muslim, Mr. Shekoni, I quote, always calls Christian Kafiris. He called them Keferini. That's what he says. My mom's elder brother, Mr. Adikboju, he vehemently warned me never to take anything from a Christian, that they are Kafiris. So when somebody now tells me, Mr. Adikboju is not a terrorist, he's one of the top journalists in this country. I mean, real journalists, not social media, like journalists that works for one of the mainstream medias, like as an editor. When you get to an editor position, you're already on top of the game. He hates, let me put it that way. Before he allowed me into his house, he was sure that of all my mom's children, I was a Muslim. So I have lived this life. And I know people can try to deny, but that extreme idea is somewhere hidden. It's somewhere. It's just, that's why I say Burkina Faso, it is very, very shocking for me how they have been able to develop this much. I'm surprised that Burkina Faso have developed this much, given the fact that they have a lot of Muslims in their country. Are there developed Muslim nations? Yes. Are Muslim nations supposed to be developed? Yes. Why are most Muslim nations not developed? Because there are certain Christian nations that continue to destroy their country. Are there Christian nations that try to impose terrorism on people? using the Muslim identity, yes. But for you to use me to do something evil, I have to be evil myself. And I have to be stupid enough for you to use me to carry out your nefarious agenda. So everybody cannot just say the US is using Sunni Salafism to destroy us. You have to be a destroyer yourself. You have to be senseless and foolish yourself for you to be used. Nobody on this planet can use me except myself. You can't sway me with money. You can't sway me with loyalty. You can't sway me with anybody. I live almost an hermit lifestyle. So, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, for him to have been able to succeed to this point, in fact, I give him a lot of credit. Are you aware that there is the Burkinabe state mine? There's now a lot of Burkinabe that have been employed. There is a lot of infrastructural development going on around that community where the Burkinabe state mine is located. A lot of Burkinabe citizens are currently studying mining. I mean, and when you say you are studying mining in Burkina Faso, you are not studying mining theoretically. You are going for your internship, for your postings in the field. You are learning how it is done, because by the time you are growing, you've grown to a certain level, you are the ones that are going to replace the people that are getting out of the system. So it's a proper transition. Burkina Faso is a sensible country. My belief is the best country in Africa as we speak. You see, a lot of people don't understand what it is to be the best. Being the best is not when you have skyscrapers. That doesn't belong to you and I. It's not when your rent is so bad to the point that your house rent is coming from your nose and your ears. All you go out there to do is to be like Burkina Faso is poor and we are rich. Are you really rich? If being the best country is not when you want to buy land and it's so expensive to the point that you might work for 30 years and your entire earning for that 30 years cannot help you buy a land in your country. Do you think you are free? Do you think you are democratic? Do you think you are reasonable in that type of country? So these are the things we are trying to very soon, in the next 10 years, a common Burkinabe will be able to live a normal life, afford anything they want, because this is a country whose principle and core values is, built towards serving the people. Look at how affordable dialysis is. In Nigeria now, if you fall sick and you have nephropathy, somebody will literally have to come out on social media and beg the world, start calling for Nigerians to help you to get dialysis. That is how expensive it is. Some people need CT scan today. Some people need MRI scan tomorrow. They have issues that they are already suspecting that, okay, this thing could be cancer. But are you aware that MRI is so expensive that some people cannot afford it? What you see that you people qualify as the giant of Africa is not the reality. It does not transition into the life of the people. Burkina Faso is different. It will not be easy, but we will get there. The battle for my own country have not started. It will be the worst battle on the planet. Burkina Faso is getting better. They are fighting and they are getting there. The West will not want Nigeria to win. Because imagine Nigeria undergoing a total purge from imperialism, from brainwash, from Western brainwashing. Imagine that, over 200 million people getting out of that. Oh, thank you so much for the donation. Do you get what I'm saying? Imagine every Nigerian having the idea upstairs that I'm going to school to change the life of many Nigerians. It doesn't matter whose life you want to change. A lot of people will come with the fact that Nigerians are tribalistic. If you're an Igbo, you go to school, go and change the life of Igbos. If you are Hausas, go to school and go and try to change the life of your people. Let's start thinking not to go to school to get a job and become relevant and just become somebody that not the next person to you, right? That I am educated. Do you know who I am? That is not the reason why you should be in school. A lot of people, when I'm in the hospital, I go to hug patients. A colleague of mine looked at me as if I was crazy. The woman was crying. Her son was having stage 4 cancer. And we were trying to do immunohistochemistry to know the type of chemotherapy, even though we know it has already gotten to the terminal stage. But I hugged the woman and I told her everything will be fine. My colleague looked at me because even if they are professionals, they are not like that. Some people are professionals because they want the money. So me, I'm hugging a woman, apart from the fact that my parents are medical, both of them. And I grew up in the system. I love what I do. I love saving people. I love making people happy. I love giving people hope. And that's how it should be. So when I see what Captain Ibrahim Traoré is doing, I am naturally connected. Nobody needs to ring my phone to call me, to beg me. I love it. And if you don't love this thing that Captain Ibrahim Traoré is doing, all eyes must be on you. Now, number 3, Captain Ibrahim Traoré referenced the arrest of 2 imams. Imam Ishaq Kindo, they call him Dr. Kindo, and he was detained in May after publicly criticizing the new religious freedom law. And Imam Mahmoud Baro, arrested in April in Bobo de la So. Traore dismissed the unrest surrounding this arrest as the work of what he called a small minority that does not represent the Muslim community. Thank God, Traore is a Muslim. Do you understand? I love the way I talk to Muslims. Most of my friends here are Muslim. So I'm able to ram in the education I feel that some of them should have. Because they know we pray together. They know we are brothers. So they still kind of look at me in a certain way that he's a Muslim. Let's see hear what he wants to say. It's painful when I'm speaking, everybody frown. You see the tension in the air because I'm saying the truth. We don't have to agree. There are certain people that will tell me the truth too. I don't have to agree immediately. But before I sleep every night, I try to take account of everything that happened in the day. And I'll be like, man, that he was saying the truth, actually. I really did not agree. Now I see him tomorrow, I'll be like, oh, what's up, brother? To him, it feels like maybe he has offended me. But me seeing him tomorrow, like, what's up, brother? And we're good. Because I went back and I felt like, man, he's actually speaking the truth. So, Captain Ibrahim Traoré revealed that Saudi Arabia has offered to fund the construction of 200 mosques in Burkina Faso. Can they not use that money to fund 200 schools? So an offer he turned down. He stated that religion should spread through the quality of its example and the integrity of its message. Get that statement again. He said that religion should spread through the quality of its example. Religion should spread to other people through the quality of its example and the integrity of its message, not through foreign funding or external pressure. So how do you want to tell somebody who got to a certain place and he saw a naive individual just on the street? He has nothing to do with religion. And they just neutralize the terrorists. Or terrorists are neutralizing people before the person and they're shouting Allahu Akbar. How do you preach Islam to that kind of person? How do you preach Islam to someone whose mother, father, sister, everybody were neutralized by Lakurawa, who said they should accept Sharia, and when they did not, who came to the town of Wuru, Nigeria, and neutralized more than 200 people and kidnapped over 400 people? In the name of Allah, how do you want to preach to that kind of person? We must speak the truth to ourselves. Nobody will tell us that truth. So Captain Traore is saying that religion should spread to other people through the quality of his example. It's the example that people want to see. We have seen people that join certain religion because of certain people. What they are doing. They can see the religion in their lifestyle. Religion is a lifestyle. It's not a doctrine that somebody dropped from heaven. It's a lifestyle of certain people. Christianity is a lifestyle of Christ. Islam is a lifestyle of certain people. So if the example you show is extremism, because extremism is not only for Islam, it's also for Christianity too. There was a Christian that was killed in Abuja, a woman evangelist. She was killed because she was doing all this early morning evangelism. She got to a neighborhood and she ran into certain people who are probably extremists. They pushed her to pieces. Now, it caused national discord. Everybody started talking. The Muslims are very, very bad and all of that. Do you know that when I saw the image of the woman, now, let me tell you why I was hot. I was hot because it was a woman and they should just have, like, let her go. That's one. Two, if you are really, really that extreme, you can just scare her or probably warn her not to come again. Now, there are some Christians that are extreme, that if you now want them not to come, maybe they are disturbing the peace of that society. Because come to think of it, families are sleeping, children are sleeping. Some people will come to the front of your house and start ringing bells. Give your life to Christ. Give your life to Christ. It affects your own standard of living. It can predispose insomnia if it continues for a prolonged period of time. But the example of that woman was somebody that did not use her discretion to calculate the time, because she went around, I think they said it was around 5 a.m. in the morning. It was not too clear. People cannot see. It is not secured. But because you've deceived yourself with so much, you think that you can go to anywhere, and because you see some pastors that do theatrics, that tell lies to people to manipulate them to get money from them, you now see an extremist with weapons and you are now saying, in the name of Jesus, I come against you. She was massacred. She was destroyed. The image was a terrible sin. Wisdom is profitable to apply. It's profitable. So when I looked at it and people asked me, what do you feel? I said, well, she made a mistake. She got into the wrong environment. But there is something called arrogance that got her there. You know very well, in a Muslim-dominated environment, you shouldn't be moving around that time, because among 20, you definitely know that there will be 2 extremists among them. And maybe those guys felt like instead of shouting at her, the best method they could use was to just take her out of the way. That is it. There are Christian extremists too. But the difference is, the Christian extremists don't go to the point of mortally harming you. If you've seen any, or you have any example, you can tell me. Historically, it was as Christian extremism was even worse than Islamic extremism. But I'm saying the modern day Christianity, they don't go to the extreme of mortally harming you. They can name you, they can label you. So extremism is on both sides, but one side is more violent than the other side. Now, extremism is not the identity of, and now this ideology can spread. There are Christians that when they see other people dress in a certain way, like if some Christians see me wear this thing now, they'll be like, it's a devil. Do you get what I'm saying? So now come to think of it, you are a Christian, that you are saying that some Muslims, that Islam is a bad religion, right? Just the way you are, some of you are looking at people just the way they are dressing and you are calling them bad, and you are spreading that ideology among many other innocent Christians. That is the way the extremists in Islam too, that is the way they are doing it. So it doesn't start with the Muslims changing their way of seeing their brothers. It starts with how you see people. As a Christian, how do you see the next person to you? You don't judge them by the content of their character. You don't judge them by what they produce. You don't judge them by what they offer. You judge them by what they are wearing. Extremism on all sides. There are some Christian parents that if their daughter bring a man, they are going to condemn. Is he a Christian? Does he go to church? How many times does he go? Like all those things. I want to go and apply for a job. You are asking me, are you a prayer? Are you a prayerful person? What unit are you working for in the church? When you start asking me those type of questions in a job interview where I come with my certifications that prove that I'm capable for that job, you are already going out of line. So, to be honest with you, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has said the same. He has said the best things. All right. Now, with regards to how we arrive at this moment, you cannot understand Traore's speech without understanding the legislation itself. On the June 20, 2026, Burkina Faso Transitional Parliament unanimously adopted the Religious Freedom Law. According to the government, this law reinforces the secular character of the state. That means the state of Burkina Faso does not belong to a single entity called religion. Like, it's for everybody. A principle that has been enshrined in Burkina Faso's constitution since the Sankara era. The law introduces penalties for practices classified as religious abuses, including the forced begging of children. Listen to that one. Including the forced begging of children. Now, this one exists in Islam. They call it al-majiri. It exists in Nigeria. They are afa. We tell them to go and beg. They will come back. Children that can hardly feed. Ah, God. They will now go and give the money back to that afa. They will go from morning till night. I'm telling you that children as young as 4, 5. If you are eating and you drop it, these kids are so terrible that their condition is so terrible that they will pick it and they will lick it. Look at how. So these are the practice. You don't find this thing in southwestern Nigeria. That is why people say it's the most peaceful, because southwestern Nigeria is these people are the only thing you will know southwestern Nigeria for is they are always trying to educate. My dad, he doesn't care about your money. He cares about the level of your education. All my friends that I know, their parents try their best to get them to a certain level of education. Most Nigerians that are watching me now, their family, they probably sent all of them are probably educated. You will hardly find a Yoruba person who is not educated. If he's not educated, he knows the value of education, but one way or the other, maybe he was not opportune. But when you talk about northern Nigeria, oh God, ask Issa Bako. Some of you know Issa Bako. Ask Issa Bako. Issa Bako will tell you that when he traveled from the United States to the northern Nigeria and he wanted to build schools for them. They told him not to build schools unless he builds religious institutions. That's mosques. So the law introduces penalties for people, including forced begging of children. So you know that those kids are being forced to go and beg, and they will bring back the money to the Alpha, which has been a documented problem linked to certain religious schools. All right? It demands financial transparency from the religious organizations. It tightens state oversight of religious education and preaching. It grants the state authority to approve or reject who studies abroad and who leads religious institutions within the country. Now, let us be clear what this actually represents. This is not an attack on Islam. This is not an attack on religious freedom. This is a government saying that no institution, however sacred, operates outside the constitution of Burkina Faso. Consider the context. Burkina Faso has spent nearly a decade fighting an insurgency that exploits religious rhetoric to justify violence against civilians, even if those civilians are Muslims. Even if those civilians are more even if they are more religiously educated than they are. Thousands of Burkinabes have died. Entire communities have been displaced. Not just in Burkina Faso, it happens almost everywhere around West Africa. Schools have been closed. The social fabrics have been torn apart by actors who claim they are fighting in the name of Almighty Allah. In that context, a government that does not assert its authority over religious spaces is a government that has surrendered one of its most powerful levers of national stability to force its control. And if they don't do that, things will go out of place. So Traore government has chosen not to surrender that lever. And that choice is entirely consistent with the broader project of reclaiming Burkina Faso's sovereignty. And that reclamation of sovereignty has defined the core values of the AES from the very beginning. Now, the thing about this whole thing now is that the African secular state is not a foreign import. It is a liberation project. When you hear Pan-Africanism, all right, if we go back to the founding moment of Pan-Africanism, from Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Modibo Keita, Julius Nyerere, and Thomas Sankara himself, every single one of these leaders understood something fundamental. Colonialism did not only steal land resources, it also manipulated identity. Some people now, they will tell you, they like to identify themselves as, I'm a Christian. Even inside that Christianity, there's still a lot of division. Some people will tell you I'm Pentecostal. Some people will tell you I'm this one, I'm that one. A people divided on all levels, divided by tribe, divided by religion, divided by social status. We need to fight against these things. So who are you? So it used traditional and religious authorities as instrument of indirect rule. The colonial power decided who was legitimate and who was not, based on purely what served the colonial interest alone. Now, the post-independent secular state was a deliberate antidote to that manipulation. He said, we are one nation. We are not a collection of religious communities competing for foreign patronage. We are not ethnic blocs mobilized against each other. The constitution is our common ground. The nation is our shared identity. Everything else is secondary. And Sankara understood this. He nationalized lands. He elevated women to positions of leadership. He insisted that no foreign ideology, whether dressed in religious clothing or political clothing, would determine the destiny of the people. He was assassinated in 1987 by forces that rejected that vision. Until this day, those forces still exist. Now, nearly 4 decades later, Captain Traore is now asserting the same principle in a country, all right, where the same army are trying to, erupt again. So, no matter where imperialism comes from, we must identify the fact that imperialism has no color. Imperialism can be among us. When he says no religion is above the nation, he is not declaring war on a faith. He's declaring that Burkina Faso belongs to Burkinabe. All of them, Muslim, Christian, traditional believer. You know that he said traditionalist in his press conference, if you listen very well. And he's saying that no external power, whether it arrives with a gun, a dollar, or a prayer, gets to disrupt that belonging. Sometimes a gun might not be the most devastating weapon. It might be the dollar. So don't fall for the dollar. A gun might not be as dangerous as the dollar. So don't fall for the dollar. So this is Pan-African sovereignty, right? And this is the tradition he's carrying, forward. And he's urging Nigerians, is urging Africans, is urging Togolese to continue to defend their sovereignty. Look at how Nigeria government came to be. Under what pretext? That Muslim tickets. So when you are now getting kidnapped from left to right, should the people that supported that Muslim agenda, should they argue? They should not. So the question that a lot of people are asking now is that can African nation be truly free? If it does not come, you don't have control over this full spectrum of influences that shaping your people, can you truly be free? If the education of the youth is directed from abroad, are you aware that the scheme of work of Nigerian secondary schools and is being written from the United Kingdom, from Britain? So if the training of religious leaders is not managed within the country, if it's managed from abroad, if the funding of the institutions of worship flows from abroad, if the institutions that bring African nations together, like the African Union and ECOWAS, if the majority funding is coming from abroad, if those influences produce loyalties that do not align with national interests, is that nation sovereign? So Captain Traore's answer is, it is not sovereignty. And it takes this leadership on proving that without action, words are just words. All right? Whether August 4 brings noise or silence, because I know the best anybody can do is to make noise on August 4th. And if you make noise, you will still get your mouth. You get everything battered. So the battle is trying to fight right now is already underway. And it's a battle of ideological sovereignty. It's a battle of rights. African nation needs to define their own relationship between religion and state. And it's being fought not primarily by weapon, but with conviction. Now, let me say this, right? When I started Pan-Africanism, when I gave up everything I was doing for Pan-Africanism, I knew the journey would not be smooth. I knew I was not going to be one of the most paid YouTubers out there. I knew I was going to be one of the most criticized. I knew at some point, if I have certain opinion, people in the community might even turn against me. I was aware that it is going to be very, very turbulent. Pan-Africanism consumed me to the point where I don't know, but most of the things I used to do that used to take my time, everything has almost been consumed completely by Pan-Africanism. Anybody that wants to go into Pan-Africanism today, I'm going to tell them, are you aware of what you are going into? You have to be aware, because Pan-Africanism itself is a religion. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me again. Pan-Africanism itself is an identity, it's a religion, it's a philosophy, it's an idea, it's the people itself. Pan-Africanism is Africa itself. If you look at Pan-Africanism properly, what's it about? That as long as you are an African, I love you. That I will not judge you by your class in the society. That I will not judge you by if you are educated or illiterate. That I will judge you by the content of your character. That I will love you even more than I love myself. That I will not. This is Pan-Africanism. That my skill will be to serve the interest of the people and not to enrich my pocket. Pan-Africanism is the religion itself. That we will create jobs. That we will prepare for the unexpected so that when the unexpected happens, we are prepared. That when my neighbor here is crying, I am there to ask what is going on, regardless of the danger. Because it is being said that the first neighbor will defend the second neighbor. That is Pan-Africanism for you. I dare, if there is trouble now, how many people can go outside? There are certain people that will even not go to certain people to help them if they are in trouble, because they will be like, oh, he's a Christian. Oh, he's a Muslim. Let him be there. Let his God come and save him. Pan-Africanism is against these things. We are brothers, we are sisters. You are our mothers, you are our fathers. And what Pan-Africanism is trying to do is to bring all Africans together. And for the first time, you all can see that people in diaspora, they are supporting people in Africa. They have been doing it before, but this support is unlike anything we've ever seen. For me, I am more Pan-African than any other thing. There is no one Nigeria that I hate. There is no one Nigeria that I hate. I can make a video with you, for you, just on this platform with my gimbal, and I will show you all the neighbors I have within the community and what they have to say about Pan-Africanism, about Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And you will realize that Nigerians are more aware of who Captain Ibrahim Traoré is, and they love his idea. Let me tell you the problem we have in this country. Nigeria is a capitalist country. It's a capitalist country from the top to the bottom. And that idea is being pushed from top to bottom. Are you aware that Nigerians are not aware that most of their influencers are being paid to continue to push that capitalist idea? Where certain people come on social media to push the identity, the philosophy of I am richer than you are. This thing is being, capitalism is not just capitalism for what it is. These ideas are being pushed down to the smaller generation. And when they grow up, this person wants to have money regardless of how he wants to get there. Even if it's defrauding other people, even if it's killing other people. So this is, now let me tell you one thing at this point before I go. Capitalism, political coup, because there are some leaders in our country that are, they are doctoring the constitution to suit their own, wants and needs. It's all imperialism. Imperialism does not mean the United States alone. It does not mean France. There are imperialists among us. That imam that will tell you to leave your family members and go out there and start killing people in the name of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, that person is an imperialist. That pastor that will tell you that your salary of next month, that there is a moment that before God blessed Abraham had to sacrifice his Isaac. Then God changed his mind. So you should go and bring all your earning of next month. That's an imperialist right there. And these are the people we fight against. And let this message stay with you. So families, it's at this point I want to thank you for your time. Pan-Africanism is no joke. Pan-Africanism is bigger than what we think it is. And Pan-Africanism is the only movement where both the young, the old, every part of the society is important. The kids are important to us. Their education is important to us. The message, the wisdom is a cohesive movement. And anyone that has joined this movement, like that brother that just told me right there when I started that you are now a part of this community, I congratulate you. And I really want to appreciate you for joining this community. And I can see that a lot of people are joining the Telegram channel. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your support. Let me tell you something today. Burkina Faso is not going to be possible without you. On everything. Burkina Faso is not going to be possible without you all. What do I mean? If certain people make certain statements today, there is going to be pressure from all over the world. Do you know what it means when over 1 billion people from all over the world is calling for your head? It is diabolic. Some people cannot make certain move against Burkina Faso today, against Mali today, against Niger today, because they know they are not going to get the political support. Gone are the days where people come to Africa and be like they want to go and save the Libyan people from Gaddafi. And they've also made that political argument before. They want to go and save the people of Burkina Faso from Captain Ibrahim Traoré. But because of the political awareness of the people, because of the information sovereignty, because of those that were aware of the plot of the West, before some of us in Africa were aware of the plot of the West, because of their tireless commitment to enlightening the mind of the naive Africans. And everybody came to this point. We have more Africans that have found Pan-Africanism today because of the work and the commitment of each and every one of you. So, I mean, I give a lot of credit to you, and, you know, let's give glory to God for bringing us together like this. So, family, I want to appreciate every one of you, and I want to say thank you. The live stream is already longer than possible, but I just want to make an announcement today. From now on, I will be changing this place in a couple days. I will now be doing just streaming, because when I make videos, there's no way I make videos without attaching receipts. My receipts are termed high risk, so I don't want to be putting those receipts on videos again, because those videos will be flagged immediately. They see them as high risk. All the videos I've made on behalf of Sudan to support Sudan, you know, they have all been destroyed. The first video, they said, you know, they mentioned a certain institution that came against that video. The second video I made, they mentioned a United States journalism platform that is resident in Washington. You know, they made claim to some materials on that video. You know, I mean, the battle is real. You can see how hard it is for me to support Sudan. And they know how bad it's going to get if I get interested in the Sudanese case, because we're going to bring out a lot of facts. So anytime I talk about Sudan, they say that they killed the traffic, and after some days, they are going to make certain claims and going to destroy the video. So the fight is real. So I really just want to, you know, appreciate your time, and I don't take it for granted. I really want to say thank you. God bless everyone today, and I wish you the best of the day. I'll see you tomorrow. And by design, um, um, and the brother that donated to this video, I really, really want to say thank you. Cabo Short, Cryptography Talk, Omaketa, my brother, you are in the building. I really, really want to say thank you. We've come a long way. Look at the numbers. I never believed we can be this much, you know, but here we are today. So I really want to say thank you. And brother Roxy Angel and Khadija, Obsidian Kitty, man, I see all of you, man. I see everybody, and I really want to appreciate you. And the mothers and the fathers in the house that continue to support us, you know, it's just a sign that the world is changing very, very fast. To all the teenagers in the house too, that in your teen, you can find this type of community interesting. That as a teenager, you can find this type of community interesting. Man, I'm proud of the future of Africa. That a teenager, I repeat, can find it appealing to join this kind of community. Exactly. That is a proof right there that Africa is beginning to move forward. So thank you, and God bless.